name's Trent, and I graduated from West Point in 2004 with a degree in mathematics, and I'm currently here at Georgia Tech as a dual degree operations research and first year MBA student.
Hi, I'm Will. I'm a Georgia Tech MBA student. Previously I served in the U.S. Navy as an intelligence officer for 5 years prior to coming back here to get my MBA.
Before coming to Tech for my MBA, right out of high school I joined the United States Marine Corps. And after the training, simultaneously I worked on my bachelor's from California State Fullerton in criminal justice. And shortly thereafter I worked in the field for about a year before I opened my own business in bakery and frozen yogurt.
I'm a second year MBA student here at the Georgia Tech College of Management. I did got a Bachelor's of Science from the U.S. Air Force Academy out in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And after graduated, I actually cross-commissioned into the Marine Corps. In the Marine Corps, I was an infantry officer and a joint terminal air controller, kind of like a forward air controller. And so served in the Marines for 5 years. I did 2 tours to Iraq, 1 to Afghanistan, and an advisory tour over in Africa. And then from there, got out of the Marines, moved back to Atlanta, and helped a number of friends start a credit card processing business before I started here at Georgia Tech.
For an MBA for me was a really a good stepping stone from my experience in the military, my undergraduate education, combining that together and looking further out as to where I wanted to go in my career. An MBA is the bridge to get from that kind of point A to point B from my military experience to my ultimate career goals.
I am here for the operations research degree because I'm sponsored by the Army to go back to West Point and teach, and it was a natural fit to do a dual degree and come into the MBA program with the outstanding facilities and professional faculty. It was a natural fit.
The commonalities I would say is passion. It's definitely passion. From when I joined the military, I was a spontaneous young teenager, but at the same time I loved challenges and I was motivated by them. And from there I had a criminal justice major. As a criminal justice major, I pursued that. I was really strong about ethics, and I thought it was a perfect way to merge those two. And then from there I opened my own business. I was very passionate about baking and reaching the consumers and offering them something they like. And then I am here in business school, and I think the one thing that really drove that is passion, and it really developed into being a professional that has a broad perspective on holistic business perspective.
Leading the intelligence analysts on the aircraft carrier really taught me that with such a diverse group of individuals, taking those different viewpoints and then working together to form a cohesive plan for an attack for what we wanted to get done usually yielded the best results for our unit.
Well, I was really spoiled right off the bat because when you're an infantry officer, when you start off as a second lieutenant, at 23 years old, you get a great deal of responsibility. You get responsibility of your Marines and project management experience right off the bat, and so we're spoiled in that sense. And it's a little bit of a sink or swim mentality. And early on, it was a great experience. But living abroad, and especially there in developing nations, learn that the rest of the world doesn't always move at American business pace, and you have to respect that. You have to respect their culture. You have to respect where you are, their guidelines, what they're trying to do, what they're trying to accomplish, and that you've got to try to live within those means as much as possible. And so it really did teach me a great deal of patience and just understanding that you have to take the circumstance of who you're working with.
Well, I come from a field of like small unit level leadership, so it's a lot of working with people, not telling them what to do, but you work with them to get the job done. And it's very similar to what we're doing here. We've got a project, we work together, and we try to come up with the best product at the end, be a good grade. So that's what I'm using.
So some of the skills that I picked up while I was in the military, number one was attention to detail. We were very particular from everything down to the clothing to cleaning. So everything, we totally paid very close attention to detail. Apart from that, determination, we saw the extent to which determination can get you and what you can achieve by being determined, and also endurance and courage. And I feel these are skills that can be applied to a wide variety of experiences that you go through, such as business school, once you get out into the business, corporate world, etc.
Georgia Tech is really good for the MBA program, tailoring the career search for each individual student and optimizing it so that they have everything they need with regards to interview prep, resume writing, company research, reaching out to companies. And as a military student, I had no experience with writing a resume, and it was really helpful for me to get that extra one-on-one attention and then leveraging that in my career search, reaching out to companies, I found that not only being a Georgia Tech MBA is a great differentiator, but also being a veteran and a Georgia Tech MBA has given me a lot of success as I search for internships and full-time jobs. One of the great resources I found for me was the MBA Veterans Career Conference in Chicago every year. It's MBA veterans of any military service that are in the students in the top 40 MBA programs, and getting to go there and get one-on-one interaction with companies that are specifically seeking veterans that are in MBA programs really helped me maximize my career search, and that's where I ultimately found my internship with Johnson & Johnson.
You know, I got home, I moved back to Atlanta, I got situated, I traveled around the world a bit, you know, saw a bunch of Europe and Australia and New Zealand, and just kind of decompressed a little bit, but meanwhile also helped a number of friends helped me. We started a credit card processing business and was able to build a little book of business from there, get some sales experience and understand, you know, a little bit of kind of small business acumen before showing up here at Georgia Tech. And that time I really think was important. Had I jumped right into it, you know, some people might be ready, but for me, I'd been living it for 9 years from the academy to the Marine Corps and whatever. I'm glad I took that time because, you know, it allowed me to show up kind of ready for day one.
You know, one of my biggest fears leaving the military was giving up the camaraderie of the military unit and squadron, helping each other get through the long deployment. But I've been really fortunate that the Georgia Tech MBA program shares those same values of collaboration and support, and helping the classes helping each other get through, you know, studying for a really important exam, working on a group project, researching companies for potential interviews. Everyone has each other's back, and it's been a great environment to be in to segue into my next career.